Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode 42 of my Stoney Plays blog. My name is Andre, and we are again doing this in English. I know there are some comments out there that say there is enough English content out there in English, and I should go back to do this in German. But I don't have any pressure anymore, so I want to do what I like. Sorry, and this is currently in English. There will be German content, I promise, in the future here, but it will be rarer than in the past. So today we are in English again, and our topic for this episode is list review of the lists that are published for the Realmgate Rumble. That is next Saturday, which should be the 17th. Let me have a short look here. Yes, Saturday 17th of November 2018 in Rostock, where if everything goes all right, I wouldn't be able to do this today because I would be on the road still. And as you probably see, I have some technical difficulties currently with the upstream. So I will probably upload this later depending on how the stream goes in the end. Before we come to the lists, the first one you see already here, I want to make two short hobby notices. First of all, as I mentioned like half a year ago, I backed the Everlasting Wet Palette. I have it here, and I'm using it currently, and I think it's really a good investment. Like there is some liquid sponge inside, and you can order some papers, and the sponge keeps the colors on the papers wet, so they don't dry out if you keep the sponge wet. You have to probably every few days refill some drops of water there, but a really good thing. The only thing that really annoyed me with this are the Games Workshop bottles. So I started doing this, like this is Incubi Darkness. So if I buy a new bottle of Games Workshop paint, I fill it to these plastic bottles, which I ordered at Amazon. They were really cheap if you order them from China. It took quite a while to get here, but with this you can like always do one drop of paint or drop one drop of paint on your palette, and you don't have to always keep all the bottles open, and so for me this works really great. So can really recommend this, and if you follow the Games Workshop 2 Berlin blog, they do a weekly posting about what miniatures got painted, and you can like submit there or present your miniatures in the store. And there's some small lottery with it, but who cares? This and the lottery like really kept me painting a lot of stuff. So I got really a lot of stuff painted during the last 6 months since the regular Stoney Plays got off the air. And this is probably my next point. This is, so to speak, the last of my for now planned episodes. When I announced that Stoney Plays returns, I had these 3 episodes in mind to do. So this is the last of the planned episodes. There will be future content, but I have no plan yet when it will be done. So don't expect me to return on a weekly basis or something like this. So now the second hobby thing I want to present is my cards, for which are quite a few. So I printed out, probably I can show this, it like glows, and this is like Ermutigen die Gegenwart. They are in German. So this is the Insane Bravery command trait. They have a white border and are golden for all the command traits. There is the run one, there is the charge one, and then in black, with black border, is the Doris specific thing, which is blood orgy or something like this. I don't know how the English term is. They have different backsides. So this is the daughter's one. This is the general one. And I have like everything that usually you place with tokens on the board. Like there is Witch Brew, and there is probably Mystic Shield, which is again white, and Mind Razor. What else do I have? We have probably Catechism of Murder. So all the buffs I can now lay out next to my my units on the board. I can't forget them. And the opponent always sees which buff is where, and if he forgets what the buff I currently played is doing, he can look at the card and just read it. So he don't has to ask always, and I don't have to tell a lot and probably look up in my own book because I forgot what one buff is doing. I even have the artifacts. This is Ignac scales, and yeah, what else? There is the turn-based stuff, like this is Rites of Blood turn 3. So all the avatars got activated, and reroll all missed hit rolls. This is what the short text on this does. There is this app you can download, or like app is probably the wrong word since it's just an application for Windows, which is called Magic Set Editor. With which you can like type in the text, choose on the borders, choose on the, like this is just says artifact here, and probably the Witch Brew says enchantment. So these texts you can change, so you can like really customize everything. You can go online and download some images from Games Workshop pages or art that somebody like scanned in or whatever, and use it for private use. This should be okay, I guess. And therefore, yeah, everybody always knows what's going on the board. Okay, so we move this aside and continue with the list review. So there are probably we want to go to the event shortly. Sadly, my internet is really slow currently. This is Tabletop Tournaments, a German page where all the tournaments are like posted. So the first game is Better Part of Valor in Gyran with Life Springs. Then it's Shifting Objectives in Shamoon with Rust Plague, and game 3 is Focal Points in Ashi with Burning Skies. Okay, so let's head right into it. The first list is again the list of the jumper. So if an odd number of players shows up, this will be played, and this list has a centerpiece which is Archaon. Then there is the Glotkin, and probably not that much else. These are the two really take up half the army. Then there's a Harbinger of Decay, of course, a lot of Blights, and a Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Of course, because reroll once to hit and wound is quite good. And then probably we should have a short look at the spells. And today I'm sort of a bit more prepared because I have the books already prepared in the right order. So let's see what Archaon, what is Plague Squall. Probably Seuchenschauer. Roll 7 dice for each 6. You can pick an enemy unit which receives D3 mortal wounds. You can't pick a unit twice with this. I would say this should be it. Okay, strange spell. Probably I would have picked something else. Let's see what the other ones have. Yeah, so Lore of Malice on the Glotkin, who has Blades of Putrefaction. Okay, this is the obvious one. This is the one you always want to counter because this has casting value of 7. Pick a friendly unit within 14. Each hit roll of 6 has an additional mortal wound, which is quite good on the Chaos Morals probably. Because they have a lot of attacks, so a lot of possibilities to roll these 6s. Okay, let's see what the Glotkin also has this ability, and this is a cast, if I'm not mistaken, to double or add another health point to each model in a unit. Yeah, this is a cast again of 7, and the Glotkin can cast twice. And you can have no bonus on these casts because this is immortal stuff. So sadly you have 2 good spells here, but all are rolled on a 7. So probably you won't get them off like more than 50% of the time, because it's above 50% that the cast succeeds, but then there are dispels. Okay, yeah, this again is targeted at the Chaos Marauders. Let's see shortly. What is the moral on Chaos Marauders for this? Because if they have 2 health points, they are probably quite a good target to be sort of the target of a Mind Razor unit. So they have morale 5, which would work with Mind Razor. But they get +1, so they are on Bravery 6 if they have the tribal banner. Okay. Let's see. It's not noted, but okay. So, what is the artifact Wither Staff on the Harbinger of Decay, which is the next unit? Ratbringer, Hero, Demon Hero, Mortal Hero. I don't know what the Wither Staff is. I can't find it here in Nurgle. Probably it's of a realm. Ah, this is a demon. Okay, so maybe because of his mount he is a demon. We have to check this probably. Harbinger of Decay. Yeah, he is a demon. Okay, so enemy units within 12 have to re-roll 6s on hits. Okay, and of course they get -1 to hit because of the Harbinger of Decay if they target a unit that is nearby to him. Let's see. Blackbeard is wrong direction. And again, this is sort of my own tournament preparation, you are listening now. So it's not really scripted. There is no teleprompter which I read from, only some background noise for you. Yeah, so Harbinger of Decay gives this 5++, so no -1. Okay, so only the 6s. Then there is the Lord of Blights. Let's see what he does. I always get them mixed up. Lord of Blights. He has a command ability. Okay. So he can target the unit. Okay, most likely the Chaos Marauders, and they get -1 to hit. So okay, now the you have to re-roll 6s. You get -1 to hit, and they have a 5++. These 20 Chaos Marauders, which makes them really, really a tough unit to choose through. They have probably they have already shields, so they might already re-roll once. So they have a 6-up save, so not that good base. So they have a 5-up save, re-rolling once probably. But usually, I guess the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, maybe he has the ability to give re-rolling once and a cast to re-rolling once on hits, wounds, and armor saves. So maybe they are re-rolling once. Then there are 5 Chaos Warriors, so nothing really to speak of. So there's this one really, really, really tough unit that you really can't move off quite good, especially because there are the Geminids, which add another -1 to hit, so you're at -2 to hit the Chaos Marauders probably, which halves your damage at least. And then they have a 5-up, you have to re-roll successful 6s, so this is really, really awful. Okay, and then there is Archaon, which hits obviously like a truck. There's the Glotkin, which is tough as itself. There's a Balewind Vortex, most likely it should be for the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, but I don't see any real use here for it. Okay. So a really tough list to play against for 40 Chaos Marauders, -2 to hit, re-rolling 6s. So you only, if you hit on a 3, you only hit on 5s and 6s, and the 6s you have to re-roll. So your damage is really, really, really low. And he targets one of your units with the Geminids and one of his units. So probably you have to have 2 units close to each other. So and probably attack with both, because one of them will get -2, the other one only gets -1. And then he has to decide, let's see, on the Harbinger of Decay. No, this was not the Harbinger of Decay. This was the Lord of Blights who had this. No, this was who had this re-rolling Lord of Blights of 6s. -2 to hit in ranged, -1. Okay, this is the Lord of Blights. The Harbinger of Decay has the 5++. The Wizard Staff. The Wizard Staff does this. Okay, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord has the Rune Staff, whatever this does. Let's see. I don't know where this Rune Staff comes from. It's a bit tricky because I have the German book, of course, but and you have magnificent bones, so I don't know, probably have to look up later what this Rune Staff does. let's see what spell he has. Herrliche Pestbeulen, so Magnificent Bubons. Yeah, another -1 to hit. So now we are at -3 to hit. And re-rolling 6s. So you really don't want to get into a fight with them. They don't usually do a lot of damage, but you really don't do damage to them. Okay, and like overall, it's a good list, I would say. It has a concept. It knows what it wants to do. It has a bit of a problem because there besides of this 40 block of Chaos Marauders and Archaon, there isn't much flesh. So if you're playing on multiple objectives, this probably has problems. This is Nurgle, so they are usually quite quick because of the Nurgle wheel, and you can always use sort of two of the Nurgle phases here, because some are at the beginning of a hero phase, like number 3 and number 6, and you can cast it. You can move it afterwards to 2 or 5. So you get +1 to wound, and if the cast no, you get roll a dice for each unit within 1 inch of a terrain feature. On a 5, you get 1 mortal wound. Okay, not that good, but it's annoying, especially your heroes. You have to keep off the terrain features, but there is no ranged really here, so it's not that hurtful. And then if the cast succeeds to move the dial, you get +1 to wound, which would be great on the Chaos Marauders. Or otherwise, you could re-roll wound rolls of 6, another debuff to everything, and you can pick D3 enemy units within 12 inches of each other. Each of these units gets D3 mortal wounds, which is bad for your buff characters. So you have to spread them out to be more than 12 inches away, so he can't pick a lot of them, especially your hags, for example. And this is my problem with this list. I don't think this is a good chumper list. This is not fun to play against. And usually your chumper list should be fun to play against. It should be. It can be tough, of course, because it shouldn't be like pampering your opponent and giving him an auto win, but it should be fun to play against. And this is not fun to play against. The other list from Leipzig from today, which was Khorne, this is fun to play against from my point of view. Or Iron Jaws always make a good jumper list, I would say. But Nurgle, I think I can deal with this, or a good list can deal with this, but a mediocre list or somebody who comes there for fun won't like playing this list. Okay, now let's move to the first real list here. There is which is from Legions of Nagash. It's from Shaiish, so you could use the Shaiish artifacts, but I think the spells are not allowed here. So he has a Necromancer who has the trait Lord of Nagashizar or something like this, which is +1 attack for death rattle within 6 of the general. Okay, so this will go into the 40 skeletons. We have talked about this in the last episode. They can, with a Necromancer, pile in and attack twice. He has Overwhelming Dread as his spell, so -1 to hit and -1 to bravery. Okay, and he has Fading Vigor, so -1 to attacks. Another debuffing list, obviously, but what else to expect from death? He has a Vampire Lord, which we also talked about in the last episode, who has this ability to get to give another +1 attack, and the skeletons are at, I guess, 1 attack base, but they can really stack this +1 attacks, because if they are 30 or more, they get +2 attacks, so they are now at 5 attacks and piling in and attacking twice, so 10 attacks, which is crazy. They of course have spears, I guess. Yes, they have. So they hit on force, wound on force with 10 attacks, so 2.5 wounds per skeleton, which is crazy. He has Graveguard, which I don't really see that often. 20. They are much better. So they have, if the wound roll is a 6, they have double damage, and they have Crypt Shields and White Blades. Okay, so they ignore rend 1. They have a rend. Okay, you could take them for that probably. They only have 2 attacks base, and they come up to 4 attacks, so they are scary, but they have only range 1. I don't know on which base they are, most likely on the small base. Probably we can see this somewhere. Yeah, maybe it should be the small base if I look at this picture here. Then there are 60 zombies, which are mainly, I guess, only a roadblock to not getting where you want to go. Where are they? Zombies, so hit on 5s, wound on 5s. There, so even with double pylon and everything, this is there a corpse card? No, so they don't. There is a corpse card. Okay, so they get +1 attack, +1 to hit here. So each model that they kill will become a zombie. Okay. And you can add 1 to hit and rule or wound. Okay, so they get scary. They get +2 if they are 40 or more models. So then they are, the problem is they have only 1 inch reach, so only 2 ranks can attack, other than with the skeletons. So this is not only a roadblock. Excuse me. A lot of bodies on the board, and then there is one, like, another really hard-hitting guy with the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Let's see what his artifact, the Balefire Lantern, does. Okay, -1 to wound and reroll successful casts. And what does the Vampire Lord has as a spell? Adamantine Orb. This is again the move thing, right? Okay. So really a crazy amount of bodies. Not that much of like debuffing. Like, okay, there is the -1 to hit and the -1 to attacks, but nothing compared to the -3 and re-rolling 6s of Nurgle. But a lot of more bodies. So really tough list, I would say. The only thing that is currently missing is the Corpse Cut, which has the Lodestone. what is the Balefire Lantern? Probably Hexenfeuerschale in German. -1 to cast for wizards. I would say this is this. Okay. Yeah, tough list. Should do very well, I would say. Next list. Sylvaneth with Ariel the Ever Queen and Throne of Wines, which lets her add plus D3 to her casts and unbinds, I guess. Casting value of 5. Yeah. So she's a really potent caster with this. She can, of course, like add some more units to this list. Then there's a branch raised with okay, this is an artifact. What does this artifact do? +1 to cast, and as a cast he has Verdant Blessing, which should be set up another Wildwood. I hope this is this. Okay. Then he has the next branch witch here has the Silverwood Circlet, so 6-inch more reach, and the Reapening, which should be yeah, all units within then 9 inches get D3 mortal wounds. Oops. So okay. And then there is the general Tree Lord Ancient, who is a gnarled warrior, which yeah, he ignores rend if it's not -2. So this makes him really tough, because Mind Razor alone won't help on witches here or similar stuff. He has the Acorn of Ages, so I guess he can. No, what is the Acorn of Ages? So he can add another Wildwood, and he has Regrowth. So he's, I guess, on 3-up, re-rolling, yeah, re-rolling once most likely. Then he has this ability to give you -1 to hit. And yeah, and maybe he has re-rolling once from a Mystic Shield and ignores rend, so you can't really punch through him. Similar would be with the Dryads, I guess. Yeah, because they will be within 3 of a Wildwood, so there's another -1 to hit, so probably -2. So the third really hard debuffing list here. 2 attacks, 4-up, probably is not that good. The damage must come from something else. They have yeah, they are 20, so the first ones have a 4-up save, and they hit on 3s, wound on 4s, okay, but still only 2 attacks. And 3 Corner Hunters with Skyths, whatever, and then their Household and the Gnarled War Roof, so you can't retreat, I guess, is this. Where is it? Gnarled. So yeah, you can cast additional stuff, which isn't that helpful since we are not playing with the Realm spells. There is another spell which recycles units, D3 if this is Dryads. Okay. or 1 if this is the Colonel Hunters, and the household then, yeah, doesn't allow you to retreat. Again, a really, really tough fight. So I would say 3 lists, 3 really hard matchups here so far for everybody. Let's see. Next list is Free People's list, and for this we probably have to look into the General's Handbook. I'm not that familiar with the Free Peoples so far. Let's see what they can do. So you can re-roll battle shocks, okay. Okay, so he can like organize this free guild stuff, and he probably will do this 2 times. So he has always a guard and 30 crossbowmen, and then 1 time handgunners, 1 time archers probably. I'm not sure how this is done best, but maybe this is the way to go here. And then they can support so at the end of the charge phase, the 2 units are wholly within 12 inches of each other. Is this an easy trick to get around this? Probably have to look up the FAQ, because like if you trail back witch elves, no, the 2 units are the 2 free guild units that most likely is meant here, should be completely within 12 of each other. Okay. Okay, then the indomitable trait lets you add 1 to save rolls for friendly free peoples within 12 that didn't charge. So yeah. Yeah, so they can either shoot or charge. So you can charge in, but this is probably not what you want to do. You probably set up the 20 free guild guard up front and then the 30 crossbowmen behind. So let's see. Free guild crossbowman. So they can shoot twice. Models in this unit might be pipers. Once per turn, if an enemy unit ends its charge move within 3 inches of a unit that includes any pipers, they can signal their unit to stand and shoot. Each model can then shoot its crossbow at the charging unit, so probably you have to always double up your charges, because they can only do this once. Yeah. So these are a lot of shots. Probably they shoot 4 times, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, so they get 1 through to your saves, and this means 30 wounds, which is really, really bad. Whew. So you really don't want to charge here. Then he has Quicksilver Swords to have some reach. What range do the crossbowmen have? They have range 20, they move 5, so 25-inch threat range, which is enormous. And the guard, 3 guild archers, 3 guild pistoliers, 3 guild outriders, 3 guild guards. Okay, they are only 20, so they get +1 to hit. You can reroll save rolls of 1. They most likely will have swords and shields, yes. So they have a 4-up save and rerolling once, which is great already for 20 guys. So another really tough list, I would say. So let's see what the Luminarch of Heesh is doing. Yeah, this has a cast of 6. Pick a unit in 18, suffers D3 mortal wounds. Double the number if it's more than 10, or triple if it's more than 20. So against big units, 3d3 mortal wounds, and it has the aura of protection, so a 6-up ward save. Whew. Then there is this and this 3 guild generals, which he has 2 of. No, he has 1 of. 1 3 guild general. He has 5 wounds on a 4-up. Does he have a shield? No, he has a war banner. Okay, which lets him reroll battle shock, but he has only a 4-up save and 5 wounds. So if you manage to kill him, this +1 to hit and wound, which really makes everything totally insane, goes off or goes away. Yeah, quite good list, I would say. So when I first looked at the sign-ups for this tournament, I thought this is probably more a local tournament with not so hard lists, but all lists here are really, really tough, I would say. Good choices. And let's have a short look at the general here. It's another +1 to hit rolls from his command ability. Yeah, great guy. Great list. All of them. Let's see the next list. And this doesn't seem more easy because there is Archon the Black with Overwhelming Dread, which we already had before, which is -1 to hit. Then there is there's a Chain Rasp Horde, which are the not so good guys, but plenty of them. There are Direwolves, and a lot, then 20 Grimghast Reapers. Okay, this is the hitter unit. And what do the Glaive Wraith Stalkers do, most likely? I will have to look this up at Nighthaunt, because this seems like a complete Nighthaunt list, except that it's played as host of Nagash to have this bringing back the units thing. There are 2 Morghast Harp. Let's stick with the Graveguard. Glaive Wraith Stalkers here. Okay, these are the sort of Skavenly models. So they can reroll hits when they charge. They ignore modifiers. Okay, they have 2. I don't see why they are that good. They are cost 180. They have a 4-up, 1 wound. They move 6. 4 3s, 2 attacks. Not really sold on this unit. The rest seems quite good though. 5 Hex Wraith. These are the more fast one, probably to grab an objective here and there. Fly over characters, charge characters. They move 12, 2 wounds, 4 up. They are good. Then there is the Morgar's Carbringers, which I again forgot which ones these are. But most likely this will be the ones that let you reroll your charges, so they pop up anywhere. So you really have to take care when you deploy. So let's look at the rest of the characters. The Steed one of the Steed one of the Knight of Shrouds has +1 attack, I guess. Yeah. Okay, as a command ability. Okay, besides that, nothing to really write home about. He's toughy. Character, 6 wounds, 4 up, not modifiable. Potential to do probably 4 damage, which is okay, so he could technically, with a bit of luck, kill a character, small one. Okay. Then there is the Lord Executioner. You can give -1 to hit to a hero, and this is it. He moves slow, 5 wounds, 4 up. So probably not really sold on him. He has an artifact, Terrorgeist Mantle. Okay, let's see what else is here. First, Guardian of Souls with Nightmare Lantern. Where is the Guardian of Souls with Nightmare Lantern? Okay, this is the one that brings back D6 models and adds 1 to wound rolls. Okay, so this is a really good one. And the Spirit Torment. Okay, if units die, he can bring some back. You can reroll once for hit rolls for friendly Nighthound units that are wholly within 12. So he's in the middle of the Grimghast Reapers, I guess, giving them rerolls of 1. Okay. Rerolls of 1 +1 attack on the Grimghast Reapers, which makes them really scary. They then have 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, wounding on 3s. Yeah, okay. Okay, there are some small things I would change here, but overall, again, quite a good list. Let's shortly have a last look at the Terrorgeist Mantle. Legion's abilities, spell lowers, command traits, artifact Terrorgeist Mantle. Can't see it. Artifacts of power, probably, if he plays the Legion of Nagash, he has to pick it from there, right? So this might be the reason why I have not seen it. Yeah. Okay, so you roll 2d6 for a unit, for an enemy unit within 10, and if you roll above their bravery, you deal that many mortal wounds, like you roll minus the bravery. Okay, artifact. Yeah, again, small tweaks, I would say, then this would be a really, really tough list, so it's still good. Next list is Seraphon, Battle Line, 10 skinks, 10 skinks, 10 skinks. So not that much. Units 6 Croxigores. I think they are not that good, but let's see if I can find them in my book. They cost 320, and these are 6 of them, so they have 24 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. So this would mean 8 with no rend, 2 damage. This seems fine. Okay, they have this rounding attacks. That makes them scary. So they have 4 wounds, so 24 wounds on a 4-up. Whew. So this would mean 6 attacks on all models in a unit, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. So this would mean 2 coming through, even without re-rolling once, and dealing 2 damage. So the Croxigors are really good against hordes, so you really have to activate first against them. Whew. Yeah, they are probably the thing you really want, that comes to you and you really want to delete first. Then we have the 2 Bastilitons. Okay, they have a 3-up armor save, they have 8 wounds, and they have this Searing Beam, 20-inch reach after 5 moves, so 25-inch threat range, 2d6 attacks on 4s and 3s, so most likely hitting more sort of 2 of them, so dealing 4 damage if no armor save is taken at -1. Yeah, they are quite okay. They have this snakes infestation thing. Again, German book here. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at the heroes here, and probably everything is FAQ'd here. Probably I will open the FAQ in a minute. There is a skink. Where are this? Saurus, probably the skink. Star Priest and Skink Priest. Okay. So you pick a unit, you can for this unit reroll all run, charge and save rolls, which would be great on the Croxigors. So you really have to have rend to go into the Croxigors, because they had a 4-up save, if I remember correctly. Where are they? Probably they are further back. Yeah, they have a 4-up save. Okay. Yeah, they have a 4-up save, which then you can re-roll. So this Skink Scar Priest has to die, and he has only 4 wounds and a 5-up. So probably if you can somehow get to him, this is a good target to start with, the Skink Priest. Let's see what the Star Priest does. This is a wizard, and he can like summon Starlight. And this has a casting value of 6, pick a unit within 20. So this one is -1 to hit, or +1 to hit, which he can buff. And he has the priestly trappings. which I have to look up in the General's Handbook. No, this is the FAQ. No, it should be here with the FAQ is here, right? What's it called? Priestly trappings. Why don't I see this? Ah, this is probably something he has to pick. Skink priest. Ah, yeah, of course. So this is a bubble. His ability. Okay, of course. So this is really a priority target to get rid of the skink priest. Then there is this Soros banner bearer, which just lets you reroll everything, like hit rolls, in 10 inches. Yeah, he gets adds +1 to casts and 8-inch range. Yes. And then there is an engine of the gods and the Slan, of course. He has vast intellect and incandescent red trees. Okay, on a 102 he doesn't help, and on a 3-up he heals D6 wounds. I don't know if this helps probably against sniping, because this usually isn't that much damage, but if you really come to close combat with him, this doesn't help, so but okay. And vast intellect, Soros Skink Slan. Okay, so he can use the Curse of Fates and summon Starlight from the Skink Scars, from this Skink Starseer ability scroll. Curse of Fates. Okay, what does this mean? He can use the Curse of Fates and summon Starlight. Okay, the summon Starlight is clear. This is from the Star Priest. So he can use this ability from this guy, which is Curse of Fates. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so this lets you reroll some stuff, but this probably is moved by the FAQ to something. And finally, we have this engine of the gods. Let's have a short look at the Slan. Before, he has 7 wounds, 4-up. So you can channel everything through him. Okay, he has this constellation which he can like manipulate, +1 to run and charge, or +1 to cast, which is probably what he usually wants to have, or re-roll hit rolls of 1. Most likely not, because he has this from enough other stuff. Okay. So Croxigores and this Skink Priest are really the priorities here. And let's look at the ancient, the engine of the gods, which most importantly probably, which will be FAQ'd, I guess. Engine of the Gods. Yeah, this is the one with the table, and therefore I probably don't even want to look at it here. He has a 4-up save, 10 wounds. Yeah. So most likely no Mind Razor will go off, and therefore I will need the snakes to get to anything. Probably the Harpies can kill the Star Priest, but I guess with 30 skinks he can screen him quite well off. So I won't be able to reach him. I have no real range to treat with him. I just have to fight the Croxigors at the right moment. And there will be probably some Riperdactyls or more Croxigors to be summoned. And this you probably have to keep in mind. 3 Croxigors are 18 points. This would mean 18 not cast casts. He only has, as far as I can see, 4 or 5 casts here. Okay, let's have a short look at the Seraphon FAQ. To see what else has changed here. Errata. A lot. Lodcroak. Summon Old Blood. Summon Asteroid Bonner. Add 1 to casting rolls. 8-inch more range. Okay, so yeah, this just gives you 1 additional command point, which isn't that helpful. And the Engine of the Gods, you can summon 1 unit from the list below to the battlefield and add it to your army on a 14 to 17. Okay. Okay, the 18 is really crazy, but the 14 to 17 you probably can achieve quite comfortably, and this means another 20 skinks. So you really have to press him here. So this doubles the movement, doubles the attacks. Still very bad, but not as bad as it's written here. Okay. So no rerolls, but another tough army. I'm still not quite sure which army I would pick here. Speaking of, the army to pick here probably must be Beastclaw Raiders, because there is a Frostlord on a Stonehorn, and there are 2 Stonehorn Beast Riders and a Thundertusk Beast Rider. So 1 time the 6 mortal wounds. Then there are 6 Mournfang Riders with Gargant Hackers. Okay, but they have quite a reach. So, but still, I don't fear them. Let's have a short look. 6 of them. What will 6 Mournfangs do? They have the Gargant Hacker. So they hit on 4s, wound on 3s. So they have 2 attacks. So this means 12 attacks. So this means 4 come through. So they do deal 12 damage. And most likely this is it. And because these are 24 divided by 3 are 8. Okay, they probably deal 20 damage with -1 rend. This is okay, but this doesn't win you games. And this is sort of the whole list. Let's see what the traits are here. Famed Hunter and Tokens of the Everwinter. Yeah, probably this is again the re-rolling hit, wound and save rolls. And Famed Hunter. You can re-roll hit rolls and yeah, for melee weapons of your general, but only the general, not his mount. Strange pick. I would have picked the choosing of the table roll, the Beastclaw Raider table. But this is compared to all the other lists, this really falls off. Sadly, I really like the Beast Claw, but this is not a good list. And for the first round, all the warlords are placed on a table, and then the guy who completed first his paying, I guess, for the tournament can pick one, and so the top half can pick their opponents, sort of, -1, because the last one from the top half only has one left. Yeah, so this would be an easy list to pick. Then next list are Stonecast Eternals, and I don't know what the Astral Templars are doing, so let's look this up, if I would know where they are described. Astral Templars. Okay, +1 to hit against monsters. Command ability. Okay, +1 to wound against heroes. You can move up all units that are within 6 of the general after the setup is complete. So you can really screen out stuff, which is good, but you only have like very expensive units, so this is bad that you can profit from this. -1 wound rolls from monsters against him. Okay. Strange pick, I would say, but there must be something better, like even just taking the basic stuff. The basic command ability should be better, I would say, like Staunch Defender, of course, then. Okay, but let's go on. Probably we find more out as we go. He has the Mirror Shield, so -2 to hit on him. Yeah. He has the Lightning Blast as a spell. Casting value of 5, D3 mortal wounds. You can pick one. It's always the closest unit. Okay, and why does he have a mount rate? This is probably not right. I guess you can't pick a mount rate and an artifact. You only has to pick one. But who cares? What does the mount trait do? Let's look up the FAQ, but I'm quite sure that this is the case. Windrunner. Mount traits. There are too many different mounts here. You can roll an extra dice when doing this Griff Charger move stuff. Okay. Then we have a Stormcaller here. Roll a dice for each enemy unit on the battlefield. On a 6, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Okay. God Beast Plate is given to the Knight Asyros. And then there's a lot of Castellan to give +1 save. There's Knight Heraldor to retreat and charge. There is an Incantor to dispel. And Lord Arcanum, okay, to like restore models. 10 Sequitors, 5 Sequitors, 5 Sequitors. All yeah. Then there are 10 evocators and 3 evocators on Dracolines. And the Cleansing Phalanx. What does the Cleansing Phalanx do again? You can reroll hit rolls by the in addition to the effect. So the evocators will empower the Sequitors, and So the evocators will give, I guess, re-rolling to saves then, or re-rolling to wounds. I guess re-rolling to wounds, right? Yeah. Yeah, so they re-roll hit, wounds, and saves on his 10 unit of sequitors, but for me this is not enough. And the evocators, these are only 10, they don't have a plus to charge. So they are sort of close to all the components to being good, but in the end some small thing is missing here for me. Good list still, but not really top edge what the Stormcast can do. I would just take Gabriel Shurhat, for example, instead of the Knight Zeros. Sadly, you then have to pick the other Stormhost, but yeah, I think this would make the list a lot better. Then I would say really good list, but so it's missing 1 point. Okay, then next we have a double Maw Crusher list from Iron Jaws. They have Gerstrike, which most likely does D6, or let's see what Gerstrike does. Manual Sorcery, this should be in here. Gairan. Add 1 to hit rolls for this. Why? Why do you pick Gerstrike with +1 to hit? Isn't there something better from another realm? I would say there is something better from another realm for him. Yeah, for example, Amberglaive. Add 1 to range, and in addition add 1 to hit rolls. Just better. And you have to be of Ger then instead of Gairan, but instantly better, I would say. And if I'm not mistaken, probably I would even prefer the +1 to wound, because let's see, you wound on a you pick probably, let's say, yeah, you wound all wound on 3s, all hit on 3s. Yeah, you probably don't take the Riptooth Fist, but most likely the Chopper, and you get +1 or to hit from your War Chanter, so +1 to wound would be preferable for me. Just ever thinking. And I'm not sure, there should be an artifact in here. I probably don't have the time now to go through all of them, but that adds +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Isn't it? If not, I'm mistaken, sorry, but I thought there is one that gives +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Maybe it's only for a turn then. Okay, then I would still pick either the one that gives me more range, or the one that gives me it goes on the wound, because hit I will get from the War Chanters, and there are 2 War Chanters for 2 more Rushers. Okay, and then there is a weird knob Shaman, but there aren't enough boys here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, if you kill 2 2 Iron Jaws, then there aren't enough boys left to give +2 to cast, which is too few. From my perspective, too few battle line to succeed with this. 2 Maw Crushers are good offensively, but defensively they really aren't. And this will hurt this list, because they are missing bodies, I would say. especially because you can't like really press your opponent. Like if you picked like Gore Fist, for example, you could like pick Gore Grunters, charge up and press your opponent to their back line and collect points in the first 3 turns or so and hopefully win by this, but not with this setup. Okay, there is the Rook Idol, which then gives probably for the first turn the +3 to cast, and probably Foot of Gork is doing a lot of work then, if you are really lucky. I've experienced this a lot in my games in my local store, but this is so lackluster. I wouldn't go to a tournament with this, because you just roll, and like if you roll the 7, is it then? Yes, if you roll the 7 in the first turn and the 4+, then it's really, really good. But if not, it's just not good enough. So I don't see this as a top list here. Stormcrest Eternals, not a top list. Beastclaw Raiders, not a top list. Seraphon, top list. I would say close to, not really, but close to. Nagash, top list. Free Peoples, could be a top list. Yeah, this could be a top list. Top list. So quite an impressive field so far. Let's see what the last list is. And if I'm not mistaken, exactly, this is my list, and we can again go through my list. Daughters of Cain, of course, with the Hagnar Temple, because why not, and it's too powerful. The 5-up. The 5-up is projected around the Cauldron of Blood for 330 points. And wait a second. Why is there the Amulet of Dark Fire? This should be Ignax scales. If the other players are allowed to take realm artifacts, this should be Ignax scales. Okay, probably, maybe I can correct this. If not, then Amulet of Dark Fire is just a bit worse. 5-up instead of 4-up. Yeah, Devoted Disciples, obviously for the projected 5-up. Feel No Pain. Blessing of Cain to give 1 unit the reroll here. Then Catechism of Murder, Sacrament of Blood, and Crimson Rejuvenation on 3 hacks. Bloodwrack Medusa with Mindrazor, most likely not for the Mindrazor, but for the Dispelling of Endless Spells. But as we have seen, there are no Grave Tides and Prismatic Palisades here, so Mindrazor it will be. A lot often it against Seraphon or Arcan, I won't be able to cast it. Okay, probably if I stay out of range, but let's see. Yeah, this is just my safety net for endless spells. Then 30 Witch Elves, 30 Witch Elves, 20 Witch Elves. Always nice to do maximum damage. Probably the 20 unit will be used as a screen. So I'm gladly sacrificing them, because hopefully afterwards I can pick my charges, and 20 are scary enough so you can't really like not debuff them or so and debuff the units behind. You really have to take care of the 20. 20 Blood Sisters, my answer to everything that needs rent on it. Yeah, we've seen a lot of this, sadly. Like there are Sequitors, there are the Croxigors of the Seraphon. Yeah, only 5 Canary Heartrenders. Probably it's better to play 2 times 5, but I didn't felt comfortable like removing something else to get there. Yeah, and 1 extra command point to prevent battle shock in the first round on 1 unit, which is my list. And hopefully, again, I can compete with the top 4, play on the top 2 tables in the last round. This is my goal. If I can win, I don't know. Hard to tell. I've not played any games against the Nagash lists. I've played something against some games against undead in form of ghosts. I've not played against any Nurgle list I can remember. So this is really what I'm missing here a bit. Like my training group in my local store is sort of quite small. And there is no real Nagash player here to train against, and no real Nurgle player to train against, sadly. So yeah, overall I would say a more tough field than the Leipzig tournament. There are some lists that are quite good, I would say, like the jumper list of Nurgle and the 2 undead lists are really strong. The Sylvaneth list and the Free People list are really good. They can compete up there. And then there are the Seraphon I missed. And the Seraphon. So we are at 7 good lists here. Like 3 very good, 3 close to very good, and 1, 2, 3 not so good lists from my point of view. And this is probably not like to compete against. All my judgment here is done to say what I think can compete for the win here. You can go to the tournament, you can have a lot of fun with your Iron Shots list, no questions asked. And you can be a good sportsman and you can have fun at the day. And this is probably what you want to have. And then you can get it with your Iron Shots list. Good for you. Yeah, there's nothing to say about or against people who do this. My judgment only was just, is this compatible? I missed the English word right now. Can this compete at the top tables? And there the 3 lists probably can't, 3 lists probably can, and 3 lists of course can, and my list hopefully can. Okay, so probably I do some photos when I'm at the tournament, or most likely I will, if I'm not forgetting it, but most likely I will do some photos and publish this on my Facebook page. You find it on facebook.com/StoneyBlazeblog, one word. And probably I will do a show afterwards, but nothing to promise here from me right now. So thank you again for watching. If you wait for German content, there will be some at the future, but nothing yet planned concretely. Probably my tournament review is not with me alone, and if I have other guys with me, I probably have to switch to German, but let's see. Thank you all for watching. See you next time, and goodbye.